Hey Ball Nation, I'm here with Caitlin Gale, and we are here to bring you all the latest news with pro sports.
The NFL draft is just 7 days away, and round one of the NBA playoffs has kicked off. Jordan, we have so much to talk about, but first, let's talk NFL. I think round one of the NFL draft is honestly harder to predict than March Madness. Despite all this controversy over whether Carolina will take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud with the first pick, I'm steadfast in Young. The Panthers traded up to get that coveted number one pick, and they're simply not walking away without the number one QB on the board. The Alabama QB size and stature has come under heavy criticism, but Carolina has a good offensive line. And when pressure calls, they have a go-to third down running back, Miles Sanders, and plenty of other skill position players for a quick release for the QB. Young is the future of Carolina. You just read my mind. I also love Will Levis out of Kentucky to Indy at pick 4. Unlike Young, Levis has the ideal QB build. His arm strength is incredible, and his leadership and toughness on and off the field is truly admirable. Now, there are many people that aren't even touching Levis in their top 10, but I think it's a good fit for the Colts. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to kick it down to pick 7. I am loving the look of this 2023 Raiders team, and cornerback Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon is the perfect addition. Las Vegas hasn't had a scoring defense in the top half of the NFL since 2002. Gonzalez is here for the rescue. He's talented, athletic, and excels in zone coverage. He'll mix well.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think Hendon could land in the top 5. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks are taken right away, so I mean, he's the 5th option.
Yes.
I definitely see a first-round pick. And now, Chicago. 55 sacks in 2022. Please get Justin Fields some protection. I love offensive tackle Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern at pick 9. He can be a tackle or even a guard. This kid is versatile and he is tough. Exactly the player the Bears need. I am so excited to see what this year's NFL draft will bring, but Jordan, these NBA playoffs are already jam-packed with action and we are only in round 1. There are so many plays and storylines that have unfolded, but what's your top 3 moments or takeaways thus far? Yeah, home field advantage is a huge thing right now. Obviously, games 1 and 2 stay the same, and now I switch it over to 3 and 4. So anything really can happen. But for my number 1 spot, I got to kick over to the true defensive player of the year, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan's daughter forced the Raptors into the most free throw misses in an elimination game since 1969. Talk about the shot heard around the world. DeRozan holding Toronto to 18 of 36 from the line earns her my number 1 spot by a landslide. Yeah. And now to the unfortunate talks about the NBA playoffs. Thus far, no sports fan wants injuries to sway the outcome of a game, let alone a series. So for my number 2 spot, the loss of Ja Morant for the Grizzlies and Tyler Hero for the Heat, both due to hand injuries, and then Giannis Antetokounmpo for the Bucks with a back contusion, has truly made a difference here in the early rounds of the playoffs. Luckily, the Grizzlies and Bucks have bounced back in the absence of Morant and Antetokounmpo, but the Heat were certainly missing Hero in Game 2 in Milwaukee. Yeah, the playoffs, there's a lot of tension there, especially in that series, and it brings out the worst in people. For my 3rd pick, or more like prediction, I'm flying over to Philly. Talk about your big dunk. This has truly been the year of Philadelphia sports. Bryce Harper had this swing of his life that sent the Phillies to the World Series, and Jalen Hurts had an incredible season leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl. If there's a year for Joel Embiid to be the NBA MVP or make an improbable playoff run to the finals, it's this year. I swear, there's something in that Phillies air.
But Caitlin, let's talk bracketology. Who do you have shaking the playoff picture and making a big run?
Jordan, big surprise. Let me start with 3 little words. Bucks in 6. It's always been the Bucks in 6. We had to milk Giannis's back last night against the Heat and still pulled out a huge win at home with 7 players in double digits and a franchise record 25 three-pointers. I don't want to get too ahead of myself or jinx anything, but Chris Middleton is back, and pairing him with Jrue Holiday and Joe Ingles on the perimeter is deadly. Wait till Giannis comes back in the picture. Now, staying in the East, I told you there's something in that Philly air, and I know a lot of people have a repeat appearance by the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, but the 76ers will certainly give them a run for their money. Joel Embiid will be the true it factor, but a James Harden and Jaylen Brown matchup is thrilling. I'm rooting for the underdog here. It's Philly season. And then moving on to the West, I want to see the Lakers and Warriors in the Western semifinals. You know how cool that would be? After meeting 4 times in a row in the finals from 2015 to 2019, LeBron James and Steph Curry meet again. This rare number 6 and number 7 matchup would feature two superstars with 8 championships and final MVPs between the two. One more championship ring for either would match Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, and Tim Duncan levels. One behind Michael Jordan. Come on now. Well, that's all we have for the NFL and NBA this week. Right after a quick break, Miguel will finish off the show with some Major League Soccer and Pro Soccer.